All right, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Supreme Ambient Light Rejection Screen Paint using ambient light rejection. By the way, ambient light rejection technology gain. There's a blue screen right there displaying its amazing gain capability in a fully lit environment. Look at this. All the way up. I got my dimmers all the way up. I got window light coming in, some sunlight coming in, and the screen looks absolutely incredible. But the demonstration isn't about that screen. We're going to be over here painting in our extreme black screen. Yeah, that video needed to be done. It was a long time overdue. You know, we got people want to start conspiracy theories about my technology using camera tricks. Yeah, they didn't like that one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing those more often. I'm actually going to be recording my recordings as I do it. Yeah. Just want to suck at it. Go ahead and see it real quick. So at the end of the day, it just shows that, yeah, my technology works. So, as I said before, you know, instead of putting all these conspiracies about my technology, at least complete one of our challenges. At least complete one of our challenges, which they will not do. As a matter of fact, you take that gray screen and try to do this demonstration right here. That's an easy challenge right here. Fully lit environment, plenty of light in the environment, window light, all that good stuff. But like I said before, you know, I test my technology out. I know my technology works hands down, but you know, they don't want to do our demonstrations. They don't want to do our tests. They don't want to do any of that, but they constantly want to point fingers at my technology being this, that, and the other, and yet they have not completed one of our challenges. And that camera setting, boy, my buddy was like, "You can get two cell phones, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I do got two cell phones." I said, just take the other cell phone and just record one cell phone doing what the other one's doing and just change your settings right there. And I was like, that's not a bad idea, because technically when you're online and you're doing a live demonstration, you can't show off your settings and your phone while you're live. But I keep forgetting I have a second cell phone here. So I've recorded my settings on my phone, and not only that, put it in black and white. Because if you're going to do a demonstration on a black screen, and if that black screen can't pull high enough white levels, that means you're not going to be able to produce a black and white image. You're going to produce a black image only if the phone had everything to do with it. And that theory today was debunked. So find something else. So as I mentioned before, that the extreme black, we're going to be making some changes on it, which means the 2 quarts will no longer be available because it's a bit expensive to make. We're only going to have it in 1 quart only. And there's going to be a limit on it. Only 1 per person. That's it. So people want to come in and try to get 2 quarts of it. Nope, only 1 per person. If you try to basically place an order for 2 quarts, you will be refunded for the other quart. So we're going to make it, it's very expensive to make. We're only going to make it in 1 quart only. It's not going to be available in gallons or none of that. It just costs too much resources. So in order for me to be able to have enough for my customers, and to make this high-end paint, we are going to have to basically make it a limited. That's it. 100 will be in the shopping cart every month. Once it's gone, that's it. Shopping cart's locked. Let me put my stuff up real quick. But I think I'm going to start doing that in some of my videos. I'm going to start showing off a recording of my recordings from now on, just for fun. So that was fun. And I got the second video, it's already uploaded. They wanted me using the camera recording. That recording is on there right now. I'm curious to see the recording I just did, because I wonder if it did come up in black and white, because I'm looking like I'm changing my settings on my phone, and I'm thinking like, am I seeing this? Like, can they see this? The same thing I'm seeing? So I don't know this at all. Like I said, I'm not phone savvy. I'm more with computers and all that stuff. Yeah, okay, that's my world. But when it comes to phones, blah, totally different person. Just not good with phones. So when I get my phones, I just usually, the only thing I change on my phone is I dim the brightness because I suffer from migraines. So my phone can't be all the way up because it bothers me. I can't have a lot of bright screens in front of me. It gives me a lot of headaches. That's why I had to change the screen I had upstairs to that 79-inch portrait screen because I did have a monitor up there and the monitor was giving me incredible headaches. So I had to get rid of it and use it for a security monitor. But I can't have my brightness up like that. I get really bad headaches. All right, let me get straightened up in here real quick. So I don't know anything about settings in the phone. So my friend was like, well, you can't show your settings, but you have a second cell phone. So just record yourself showing off your settings in your other phone. I was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So I'm going to start doing that from now on. In some of the video test videos, we're going to do that. Show that off. Because you know where these theories come from? And I'll tell you where these dumb, idiotic theories come from. They come from Crow. That's where they come from. These are his idiotic theories. And then his Crow boys feed on to that. And they bring that into my channel and say, oh, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Because that's the only where they can be getting it from. So now today, like I said, I could have done this at any given time. I wanted you to dig a deep enough hole, a really, really deep hole. So when I show you that demonstration, there's no anywhere for you to dig yourself out of. Because not only did I show you my phone settings, but I changed my phone settings in live. And then I turned around and I did a recording of the recording that I was doing in black and white. There you go. Also showed you what happens if you change your settings and if you hit an area that's very well lit, the entire area illuminates. Not just the screen. Any area in the environment that's producing light is going to illuminate. So there's your theory out the door. What else? You're going to have to just accept it. You don't want to accept it. That's not my problem. That's yours. All right, we're going to do a black screen today, so we're going to paint this thing in right here. I painted over this screen. Actually, I think there's like 4 or 5 coats on this screen. I'm not sure. We have 4 or 5 coats on this screen. So if I never asked me, like, can I paint over the screen? Once I paint over the screen, I've got 4 or 5 coats on this screen right now. Ugh. Now, I'm sorry to start your morning off like that, people. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Sorry about that. Sometimes I go into these little rants and whatever in the day, or I'm just hyped up as it is. Never asked how your day was going. I hope it's going well. Ugh. It's the reason why I don't drink coffee. Wonder why. How come you don't have coffee in the morning? Like, really seriously? Like, you want to see me on freaking coffee? You do not want to see me on coffee. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. That song stuck in my head. All right, my stuff in there. Okie dokie. Boom. Yeah, they don't do demonstrations like this. Fully lit environment, window light coming in, dimmers all the way up. There's nothing blocking my windows at all. No awnings, none of that dumb nonsense. Look at this. This is how your screens are supposed to react in fully lit environments. So that's what I'm saying. When you watch demonstrations of people trying to display an ambient light projection environment, they'll put those lights in those environments. Those lights weren't always in that environment. They'll put them in there for the time being just to do the demonstration. And then the lights will go off and they'll continue the rest of the video in the dark. Because even they know behind camera that the screen's fading. And they're praying no contrast levels pops up, because if it does, it's definitely going to flaw the screen. Me, on the other hand, I can keep my lights on. There's the blue screen right there. I can keep my lights on. You see how light that screen is? That's a really light screen. It's almost near sky blue, but it's a blue screen. You see how light it is? See how much ambient light that screen just absorbed? These 2 windows these two windows and the overhead light at the same time. Coating also works with gain. We didn't know. I don't. It's like I said, a lot of things that y'all don't know that we don't talk about. I don't talk about. All right, so let's get this party going. Let me get some frog tape. Let me get you guys leaned over. Did a purple screen. Now you're not going to see much of the purple screen. I don't know anybody would want a purple screen in their home theater setup. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want one in there. But it was never designed for that. It was designed for 3D mapping, which my computer comes today too, because I had to buy me a serious computer. Well, it's not a serious computer, but I got myself a really good computer that I needed because for the particular software that I need to run and some of the hardware, the firmware, requires a really good beefy computer. And the ones I have upstairs are not going to run it. So I had to order me a whole new computer to do it. And right now, I'm also ordering a graphic card because I need a 4 gig graphic card to run on that. And an external hard drive, maybe 4 terabytes of solid state drive. That's what I need. I doubt I'm going to basically need, and I don't doubt I'm going to have any problem with overheating in it because it's a small form factor PC, but I don't think I'm going to have any problems with overheat. I don't think I have to put anything like liquid cooling. I do not like to run fans in computers because fans actually pick up a lot of dust. And even if you do have filters to put in your fans to clean the dust or anything, you still have to scrub those things out with a toothbrush. So I like to put liquid cooling in all my systems. But then again, I really don't feel like running something like that to begin with. That's just too much work for something I'm just going to be using for just video mapping. So I didn't get a real powerful computer. I went online. I know a lot of people were getting the Dell's 710s. They would turn them into gaming computers. It has pretty good specs on it. It's got an i5 processor on it, 16 gigabytes of, I think it is DDR3 1060. What else? 2 terabytes of solid state. Only thing is that it uses integrated video or integrated with the GPU, so I guess GPU and RAM kind of run side by side. So that's why I went out and purchased just a basic small form factor, small profile GTX 650. I know a lot of people gave a lot of flack, but I really don't care because I'm not using it for gaming. I just use it to need to run high graphics when I do video mapping because the projector. I was going to order the projector that does the video mapping, but reading the specifications on it, it only goes up to 1,000 lumens, so that's only used for the dark. But then they make a particular model, like a camera and scanner, that you can attach to your projector to turn that into video mapping. So that's what I purchased instead. And you have to have minimum, I think is it has to be 1080p. It's any projector, but it has to be 1080p. I think max you can go. It's 1920 by 1200 WXGA. You can. The Sonys are perfect for that because the Sonys are actually 1920 at 4300 lumens WXGA or WXGA. Yep. So this is going to be pretty cool. So that's what the purple technology was developed for. And then we have a kind of clear black technology we're working on also too for video mapping. Because one of the gripes that I've heard from people that were reviewing that particular piece of hardware and software is that you can only use it at night. And I know why. Because if you're video mapping off something, you're just video mapping off that surface. That surface was never meant to basically have a projector produce an image off of it. So I can imagine that the colors are going to be somewhat good, but not like vivid and bright. So I'm working on a coating. Purple is something else. Purple is something completely different. But I'm working on an invisible coating that I can actually heighten the object. So it doesn't alter or change the object. Like if I made a purple paint and you basically sprayed it on something that was red, then it's going to change it to purple permanently. So what I did was I actually designed a coating that can be washed off and you can spray it over an object and it will actually enhance the color and contrast because it has coating technology in it. Kind of see where we're going with this stuff now? Because it can read the projector. And now you understand. So I told you, it's a whole lot of stuff going on there. People, one thing, we designed something, there's a bigger and higher plan for it somewhere else. It isn't just projection screens. So imagine having a clear coating that can read the code of a projector, which means that they don't have to alter or change the object in any way by its color because the coating is clear and it washes off with hot water and soap when you're done. which means it doesn't make a difference if the surface is red, blue, or green, that the minute it hits that coating, it's going to be able to read whatever comes out of the projector, heighten it, enhance it, and make it look absolutely incredible, as the blue screen you just saw behind me that has coating technology in it that has the ability to produce bright, beautiful images, even in a fully lit environment. And the problem they have with that technology is the fact that they can't get images to come up looking, they don't pop because it's in a well-lit environment. They can only use it in the dark. This technology will allow them to be use it with the lights on. So now you see where I'm going at, right? Big money in that field. Very big money. That's why it pays to teach yourself to learn how to build technology that works in well-lit environments, not in the dark. Because you want to be able to venture out of home theater into commercial. That's why. But no one would believe me if I told you that, hey, look, I got a screen that can read code. And you'd be like, oh, that's virtually impossible. This man has literally lost his mind. Until I show you a screen that's purple that comes up blue, green, red, orange, and yellow. But then, like I said, as you'll have some people say, oh, it's got to be the settings in its cameras. Oh, we debunked that theory today. That's done and over with. All right, okay. It's the same process. When you're putting tape on, it's the same process. You put enough tape where it overlaps the screen, you tuck it underneath. That's what you do. When you get to your corners, you take your thumb and you press down tight in the corners, but you want to make sure that that's all the way in there, nice and tight, because if it's not, you go to paint over it, you're going to have a little tiny tear drop in there. This is going to be white or whatever the screen was before you painted it. And then just to make sure, you just take some tape. You just put it right in the corner and bring it across. That's all. It's pretty easy. I think I've taped this thing over and over again and again and again. Well, that's all. Now, I guarantee you, bar none, because usually these individuals never see these video demonstrations that I do. They just come in the room ranting and carrying on. I guarantee you, if I'm not doing a few, look how foggy it is outside. Good God. But anyway, I guarantee you, somewhere along the line today, one of them is going to pop in the room and say, show me your camera settings. I'll lie you not. I'm going to direct them to that video. All right, let me get some more tape. We're done here. Just got to basically, that's all done. Good grief, it's foggy outside. Having a heat wave, tropical heat wave. Usually in these videos, I just talk about just about anything because I'm just painting a screen. You know what I mean? I've painted so many screens live, it's not even funny. Every time I come on here, I'm painting a screen live. I don't even know how people can say, well, I don't know how to do it. I paint screens all the time. It's the most easiest thing you will ever do. It's so easy to do. You don't need to hire a painter to do your screen. You can do it yourself. There's a joy in being able to do something yourself and you don't have to pay someone to do it. It makes it easy. You know, if you ever back, I don't know some of you guys how far you go back, but if you were around when Goose Screen was all the rage, yeah, you would literally, I would pay someone to paint that screen in. Because you make a mistake on that, and that is going to cost you. But there is no way in the world you're going to make a mistake on the screen. You watch me dab my corners in. As a matter of fact, we're going to use a sponge today too, because I forgot I have sponges. I'm going to use the sponge to paint some of my screen, not the whole screen. There we go. Sponge. scissors are at. Oh, man. So, what I'm going to do is, see these heads like this, right? I'm going to be basically coating this with technology so I can basically 3D map these. So I ordered some more of them. And I'm actually building me a huge sculpture downstairs that's going to be coated with the technology that I'll get a chance to play around with. There's going to be a lot of boxes, a lot of edges and corners and all that stuff. Woo! All right. Let me see. I know I need scissors here somewhere. I'm a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. I need to get somewhere to look home too. I need desperately. Oh, wait, what I'm doing? I got to set the projector up too. Projector set up. All right. We don't have a projector set up. Projector. You say tomato, I say tomato. That's two of them. Only need one. So that's good. Alright, so that's set up. Don't worry about that. Put my rug. Alright, guys. Okay, and where are we at on our phone? How much juice do we have? 77, that's not bad, okay. Take that out. Okay, everything off? It's all off, okay. We got sponge, we need scissors, which I need scissors for anyway for work. There we go, that's my scissors. Okay. So, we're going to be using today, ta-da, or this is the black technology right here, the extreme black, that's what I'm using today. As I said before, I'm going to be putting down some notes at the bottom of some changes for the technology. Like I said, only 100 will be available. We will only do 1 quart, limited to 1 person. 1 person per 1 quart, that's it. Sorry, bud. Sorry about walking away from the camera like that. It's a bit expensive to make. All right, so let me finish taping this off. If I can figure out exactly where I just wandered off with the roll of tape. And we'll get, there we go right there. We'll get this thing all painted in and get the fan ready to dry it up. And we'll be done. There. Get something to put behind there. So we have all this stuff set up. Run around trying to figure out what's what. And I gotta get something to put you guys on. The base. I find it funny that when people try to disclaim my technology, that when I show them up, then I'm the one that's unprofessional. Well, you know, I have a right to protect my technology, and I do. And if you got showed up for doing something stupid, then you deserved it. That's all to it. That's it. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I'm not gonna let you talk trash about my work. I'm gonna put you on blast, right on live, for everybody to see, the whole world to see it. Make claims you can't back up, because I will back them up. You know, because many times on camera that, and I said, look, you don't want to go down that road because you'll be put on blast and you don't like it. And they get mad at me and come back and say, oh, you're so unprofessional. No, 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 no. You opened your mouth, you signed a check, and I cashed it for you. That's all to it. End of the day. What do you think was going to happen? You should know by now all the testing and things that I do every single day. Wouldn't you think I wouldn't have covered that part already? And you the one that stepped in the lion's den with a pair of trunks made out of freaking hamburger meat. That was your fault. You asked for it. So, you know, you want to keep throwing at me about my camera settings. Well, I did you one better. I recorded my camera recording at the same time, showing the settings and showing the camera reacting off another camera. I don't care if you don't accept my technology. You don't buy my technology at all, period. You don't even have any of my technology probably in your home right now. So what do I care whether or not, you know, at the end of the day, about you're upset about this, that, and the other. I don't get people. I don't understand them. It's all jealousy. Because they can't figure out how is this guy making a black screen produce white level. So I just did it on black and white. And you have to be to produce a white level if you do black and white. All right, let me see. We got everything taped up well here. Let me see. We're good. We're good. See, when I work with big companies, I don't have to go through this. I don't really care, but I don't have to really go through anything. They come in, they test my technology out, or I go to their facility, and if they like what they see, I get a contract, and that's the end of the day. That's it. There's no, oh, this and no. I get a contract that says that, hey, look, we're going to buy 80 gallons of you every freaking week. That's what I get in those contracts. But now, since COVID, we can't really do contracts like that anymore because there's a lot of resources we have to gather up. And if we do that, that means we have to skip you guys. And I prefer my customers over contracts any day because contracts can be a bit of a headache from time to time. And I have a higher chance of them trying to basically figure out how my technology works than anyone else does. Because the average Joe doesn't have that kind of money to do reverse engineering when a company does have the power to do it. Besides, as I told you before, I am looking to retire. Not soon, but yes, I am looking to retire. And I do not want to get locked into a 5 or 6 year contract with a company knowing that I'm going to be doing this way after the point that I just want to retire. See what I mean? So that's why I'm not really interested in contracts anymore. All right, we're done here. All purple screen ready to go over. We got our sponge here because this is for to get in the corners. Keep in mind, as I tell people, when you're painting your screen, this one doesn't have a bar in the back of it, so I don't have to worry about putting a bar in the back of the screen. But the sponge is for so I can get into those corners and under the frame, because even though you're hitting it with the roller back and forth, you might not get under the frame. What's going to happen is when you peel off the tape, you're going to see a white tracing line all the way around. That's the area that wasn't touched. So you want to make sure you get in those corners and everything real well. And then you go over with the roller. Take your roller, take it on a tilt like this, and just get right into those corners. The battery's dying here, so let me get a charge real quick. There we go. Wow, it's at 6%. Awesome. All right, so let's get it cracking, Jackson. Let's get it cracking, Jackson. That's how black that stuff is. They're darker than 12s. They're way darker than 12s. So I'm gonna take some of this right now. Look at my corners. Oh, the sponge works much better. The only problem I had with doing a sock is I would always have a problem with getting those. My hands are always, well, my hands are gonna get messy here, right? Let's see, I need a frame. Man, this works much better, man. Should have been using a sponge a long time ago. Yeah, I'm gonna get messy. I'm gonna get messy. Much easier with a sponge. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised with another dude. Okay. Yeah, man. He said, oh, I'm gonna streak the screen. Can't streak the screen, you kidding me? All right, see this right here? All right, just for kicks and giggles, people. For kicks and giggles. Don't do this. We're gonna paint the screen with a sponge. Because you know, I always get these people saying, well, I painted your screen. Not all the time, but every once in a while, I'll get somebody that'll say, oh, I streaked the screen. Yeah, okay. How many screens I've painted on live? So I wouldn't suggest you doing this. And mind you, I'm actually using my screen as a paint pan. Yeah. How many YouTube demonstrations have you seen somebody doing this in their demonstration on their screen? So this is what I'm doing, so if you can't see it. Taking the sponge and just going up the screen, my piece of styrofoam, like so. Now, please, and I'm going to say this crystal clear, do not do this to your screen, because I'll have somebody will do the, well, so you do it in the video. No, 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 I just clearly said, don't do that. All right? All right. Now we're going to dry that other screen. Ugh. Now I'll start painting on my screen. Over here. I think I'll go and paint. That's about it. Let's move out these areas. Trash my screen on. That's too much. That might be too much. But we should be good. All right, cool. I've never seen it that foggy out there like that. So it's got this whole, ever seen a movie called The Fog? That kind of reminds me of. All right. Corners that I got with the sponge. You take your roller like this and you tilt it on the side like this, and that's how you get the little corners in there. So I'll show you on this side over here. Just tilt it to the side, because this is why I took the sponge and I had to go under the screen to make sure that I got under the screen. Because what happens is people will paint their screen in and then don't realize that underneath your screen there's going to be a little white tracing line all the way around, and that's because you didn't get under the frame. So what you want to do is take a sponge, like I did in this video, and go under the frame. That's all you want to do, and make sure you get your corners, because your roller is not going to be able to get in those corners. But keep in mind, when you roll it with a sponge, it's going to leave a bit of a smear in there. So all you do is just take your roller, put it on a tilt, and just, that's it. All you gotta do. Done? 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 Now, all you gotta do now is just go do, 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 do. That's it. Very easy to do. A little dance will do. Bam, done. That's it. Finished. That easy. It's not that hard to paint these screens. It's very easy to do. Kids can literally paint the screen for you. Done. I keep a genie with the light brown hair. Do 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 do. Okay, let me see. Got a lot of paint on my hands. Going to add some. See, being stay. Hands. I carry straight in my tail. Okay, let's see. I'm messy a little bit here. Tape, sponges, all of the good stuff. So cleaned up. Always big in keeping the area where you're working at, keep it clean. And as you go. As you go. Downstairs. All right. I'm going to put you guys from here. I'm going to have to take some time today and go in and vacuum my floors today because I didn't get a chance to do that yesterday. Okay. Get you guys off here. Bring you into the other area. Let me see. Over here for right now. I'm still going to be watching that right there because that's the screen I painted with a sponge, which again, I advise you do not do. Might have been a good idea. Fan there. Should have been a better idea. Now what I do usually if I'm usually hanging wet screens up, you know, because some people say you're afraid you're going to nail your wall. Before I move into a place, I get samples of all the paint in the house. Like I'll scrape off a piece of it and then basically take it out and get samples of it just in case I were to tag a wall by accident with some paint. I can actually just brush it up a little bit, you know, from there. When I leave the place, I bring in a professional painter. I pay for it, and they repaint the entire place. Because, you know, you got to do right by people. They're nice enough to open up their homes, allow you to be able to live in them. You know what I mean? You got to do right by them. And I tell them when to do this, but some of them say it's okay, and others I just do anyway. You know? Gratitude. All right. Let this dry up. This is going to be getting there. And we still have the screen painted with the sponge. Now, as I said in my demonstrations, always when these screens are wet, they're dark. Go over here and adjust this a little better. I carry tricks in my pail. Childhood song stuck in my head when I was a kid. I want to miss those days. I was on a Facebook forum site, and they were showing these two kids that were doing something stupid, and one of the kids, like him, broke his neck, and I was like, wow, that reminds me when I was a kid jumping off a roof because I thought I could actually land it because watching Mary Poppins and thinking that I could do the same thing too, and I'm breaking my arm. Man, it was fun to be a kid then, boy. Fall out of trees, break this, break that, skin this, skin that. Having all your friends line up and try to jump over top of them with a bike with the banana seats and the tassels that came off the handlebars. Yeah, those were good days. All right. So let that dry in. Let's grab ourselves some videos real quick. I'm just gonna go over here on my phone. Right, grab some videos real quick. that. Well, that's no good, but that's contrast. That's too easy. So a little bit more. A little more harder than that. Too easy. This should be good. Get some kind of more strands. Okay, there we go. That worked. Maybe here. All right there. Kind of get something we don't have a lot of oversaturation color. I don't want that. I want something natural. That's what I'm looking for. Ooh, chihuahuas. What chihuahuas? Nice, that screen's still wet. Just painted it, so it'll be a little dark. I want something really colorful. Get that from here today. Oh, golden retrievers. My favorite. As the screen starts to dry, it's going to get brighter. And it'll be brighter than this. And this screen should be full of streaks. You see how I painted this screen? And throwing sponges on it, on paint and everything, man. Oh, you got a commercial already? It couldn't be the end of the video. Oh, it is! Hold on, let me go back and grab me something else. I like that video. Okay. Find something a little bit longer then. I like that. You got something a little longer? I don't know what happened. Maybe it was short.
Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Spray, wipe, rinse. Dawn Power Wash.
Alright. Everybody has some Wi-Fi connections. Give it about a minute. My Wi-Fi gets a bit buggy from time to time. So I can bounce out of that, grab something else and see if I can come back to that one. Alright. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I'm going to go back to the other one. Sometimes if I bounce out of one and come back in the other one, it works. There we go. Something brighter. Paint's on here. Let me put this out. Yep, sorry about that. Wrong section, wrong area. And voila, we're done. Screen is almost dry. Keep in mind, in my demonstrations, not only do I show you the product, but I paint and dry the screen right on camera, showing you how fast the drying time is, how easy to apply the application, and how it's completely foolproof. Because if you were on and you see how I painted this screen in, I used it as a paint pan to paint another screen. So there's virtually no way in the world you would ever mess up any of our screen paint products because they're very easy to apply. So, what we have here is one screen I used a dish sponge to paint, and the other screen I wrote on. Like I said, do not do this at home because it's just a demonstration. It's streak proof. So when people sit here and send me demonstrations saying, oh yeah, I streaked the screen and all, no. I painted the screen with a dish sponge. That's rolled on, that's a dish sponge. Not to say that matter, like, you know, that kind of voice, but yeah, I get people doing some weird stuff, man. Like, I had somebody tell me they didn't have enough screen paint to paint the screen. Oh, come on, are you freaking kidding me? You guys watch me paint 120 inches in. You watch me paint that screen in, the 135 upstairs. As a matter of fact, I had enough paint from that one to paint the 35-inch screen, the 57-inch screen that was used outside in the demonstration off one quart. So one quart, I painted that screen and another screen that was used for an outside demonstration, which was 57 inches. So when people sit there and tell me, hey, look, I streaked the screen, this stuff is so thick, you can't even push it through a paint sprayer. So how in the world did you mark a screen, or basically got streak marks in your screen from a product that's so thick that it can't push through a paint sprayer? It was designed to be that way, so if you're rolling something, you get very little splatter effect all over the place. If a product is too thin, what's going to happen is you're rolling it, this stuff is going to spit paint everywhere. But as it being thick, it allows you to be able to roll it without basically paint splatter, having a splatter effect everywhere you actually roll it on. Even if you're using cheap beat down rollers, and the roller I just used in this demonstration was actually a roller that I washed out downstairs with some detergent. So when someone sits there and tells me that, hey, look, I got a screen here and I streaked it, I'm like, yeah, okay. Because they'll say that I couldn't finish the screen, and if it's possible, if you could send me out another quart, I would appreciate it. And I just painted a screen with a dish sponge. Roll on, dish sponge. And as I said before, don't do this. It's just a demonstration. I know my product. I test my product. I test my product on just about every level. Yes, I tested on streaking. I tested on coverage. How much paint does it take to cover a screen of that caliber? If I use this particular roller, how is the screen going to react? I use all different forms of rollers and gnat rollers, and they got something called sheep something. I forgot sheep something rollers. They're real thick rollers. They use them for basically painting over stucco. Everything, because I know somewhere along the line someone's going to use something that we tell them not to use, and I want to see the reaction of it. Foam rollers, you know, so I do all these tests already, so that's how I know how this stuff is going to react. And I know for a fact that the products that we make are streak proof, because if you just saw a few minutes ago how I just painted this screen in, you just saw how I painted this screen in, and you can see no streaks in my screen. Not one streak at all in my screen. And you've seen how I painted this screen in. I took a sponge, soaked it in paint, and dabbed it all in the corners, and then was constantly throwing the sponge onto the screen, then used whatever paint that I had sitting on top of the screen to scoop that up and smeared across that screen over there, and neither one of them has a streak mark. Keep in mind, when you call me with this stuff, I do my testing thoroughly. I don't just take paint, mix it together, throw it in the wall, hit it with a high-end projector in a dark environment and go, wow, it's done. No, I have to do all this testing has to be done. Oh, and by the way, that's painted on styrofoam. Styrofoam projection screen.
Try Dawn Platinum on laundry stains or greasy tire rims and clean
Yeah, I know all this stuff already. I have to test all this stuff out. Everything.
King's Future Life. The beers are trade. These are your tools.
How do I know? Tell you how I know. I had to test it. That's how I know. Put you up a little closer. We don't need the fan anymore. We're done. Sorry about that. My Christie projector has a brightness of 90. Of 90. It's a venue projector. They designed that go up to 90. My settings on my projector for brightness are at 26. And I've done this demonstration on 1,000 lumen projectors also. We also did the 13 feet test at 1,000 lumens outside. The screen has already been tested and done. If you're interested in seeing those demonstrations, I'll post them at the bottom. I got people, customers now chiming in about the whole demonstration I did on the camera conspiracy. They're laughing their behinds off. I told you, I don't sit there and show you stuff right away. I'll wait a while first. Let's dig a big enough hole for yourself. And then I'll come in and show you. Recorded my camera settings as I was doing the demonstration in black and white. That theory's been debunked. Oh well. No. Spend more of your time doing something positive with your time. Who knows what you may come up with. Instead of basically spreading a bunch of negativity, the adventure's gonna blow up in your face. I should do a video of a camera recording my camera as I record that camera as I record that camera. All right, so we're going on the website. We're removing the 2 quarts. If you did order the 2 quarts, and then it's yours. Then we're not going to change that order because you already put the order in. This is before we made the announcement. So anyone made the announcement before we made the announcement, if you did put an order in already for the before the announcement, we're still processing that order. It's gold. All right. Anybody else places an order for an extreme paint? We're making it now because it's expensive to make this stuff. So we're only going to be making 1 quart. That's it. It's only 1 per person. So if someone tries to come and get 2, you'll actually get refunded your other half. Because it's only 1 quart per person. We're only doing 100 of them per month. Once the shopping cart is completed, that's the end of it until next month. because it's expensive to make this stuff, and then number two, it takes a lot of resources to do it, and it sometimes, you know, if we did it like on that level, it would cut into resources that I need to process orders for other customers, but I do want a more higher advanced version of the 12. So the screen does 100-inch to 126-inch. This is a 92-inch screen. That's 126-inch in there. So that's a pretty big screen. And you can see drying time doesn't take any time at all. With a fan, it doesn't take long. Also, too, the Extreme has certain lumen requirements. You might want to look at that first before purchasing. Please read through the policy before buying this paint. If you are a person who basically are into white levels, some people have white projection screens or coming off a white screen, so your eyes are not really adjusted right to handle a black screen. These are the people that usually want the black screen to react with white levels of a white screen. This is not for you. That's not for you. The best screen to go with is a black silver, which will give you the contrast level colors that you desire, and it'll give you the white levels that you want. So black silver is your category. But if you're expecting for these screens to produce levels like a white screen, it's not going to happen. So, you know, I advise you do not buy it. Now, I got some customers that want that heavy contrast level, that deep dark. That's what they want. This is perfect for them, especially if you're a gamer. That's a bit of a toss-up between the sky blue, and sky blues ain't coming out until that paperwork is done. When that paperwork is finalized, you'll see that come out. You'll see a pre-order come out for it, and that won't be for another month. So I doubt it's going to make it for the launch system. It's just not. That paperwork got to be done first. Yeah. Bring you up. I have to bring you up close. Oh, you know I gotta put this demonstration on. Of course, it's white levels. Why would I shy away from it? Now, I'm gonna have this screen up for the rest of the day. I'm thinking I'm gonna hook up the my Chrissy 1080p to it, because right now we're using 720p, which looks fantastic. But we're going to run the 1080p with the Sony, the gaming system through it. We'll do that later on today, because I know you guys are itching to see it on that level. And I'll come back and show you how far my projector sits back in my environment. The projectors are always usually the length of the room, so around 10 feet back. Now, make sure, now usually if I push this projector back 10 feet, you would think the screen sides would be overlapping. So what I do is I shrink the image so I can pull the projector back farther. If I pulled it up to the full size, it would basically overlap all of this. So in order to get the distance that I need to do the demonstration, I actually shrink the image so I can pull the projector back farther. Some people put the projector up too close and then they shrink the image. I just changed, I don't know if you can see it on your end, but I changed it over to black and white. So you can see that the screen is pulling a white level. Because there's only two colors on the screen now, black or white. And if there wasn't enough white on the screen, it was too much black, you wouldn't be to see the image at all. And I'll put it back to normal. No marks, no streak marks, nothing. Look at the white levels. You see between the skin, the shirt, the hair. See the one on the white panda. Panda bear. That's what I want to see. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. This is where I'm going to sign off. Got some things to do today. I got orders to process for tomorrow. That's basically about it. Like I said, I had demonstration showing off my camera settings and all that. It just shows you the extent of people, what they go through because they're jealous or they're upset. I don't know what it is, but I mean, bottom line is, like I said, I've backed up everything my technology can do. I do live demonstrations, I do projector swap outs, I do emulate projection tests outside. My environments are always well lit, as you can see. I show my projector settings. So if that's not enough for you, don't buy my product. That's all to it. Because I've showed more than what I could do. I do demonstrations that most people don't even do. On any level, they don't do it. You can go look over the internet, see how many people do demonstrations on my levels, and they don't. Everybody wants to ridicule, I say everybody, but certain individuals to ridicule my technology, but they don't want to do any of my demonstrations. They don't want to match anything that I do, but constantly ridiculing my stuff. And that just shows you a line of jealousy right there. And at the end of the day, I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm always going to have orders. I'm always going to have contract offers because my technology speaks for itself. And I'm going to keep on designing bigger and better stuff. And either, I don't know how they're going to deal with it, but that's their problem, not mine. All right, so I got to get out of here right now. Like I said, I'm working on the invisible coating. I got this project coming up for, I'm going to get into 3D mapping. And I figure that I'm actually talking to one of the company that basically makes the hardware for those particular projectors. I'm going to be showing them some stuff that I'm doing using to actually enhance their projectors' capabilities. All right, so with that being said, thank you all for your time. I have to go. And for those of you who supported my company, keep in mind, I'm really happy for those of you who support my company. I got customers to call me up and say, hey, I got the screen paint. It came out fantastic. It looks great and all. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. As for the naysayers, they don't bother me. They don't get on my nerves. It's at the end of the day, I will always prove you wrong, no matter what. And sometimes I may let you run your mouth for a bit, so you can dig a big enough hole so I can do demonstrations, which I just did on the phone conspiracy, to give you not the ability to dig yourself out. But they'll come up with something new. They always do. And that doesn't bother me at all, because if it did, I wouldn't be doing this. And nothing's going to change until the day I decide that I'm going to retire and never do this again. You know, that'll be it. But right now, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I love designing screens. I love getting in the morning, doing video demonstrations and all this stuff. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to continue to do so. All right, so thank you all for your time. Thank you for your support. Be safe out there, and God bless.